Ladies and gentlemen, we have a guy here, a guy who seemed very dedicated to the youth program. So obviously he's a guy I like because right now the youth program is very interesting to me. So I'm going to ask him to introduce himself and give me his background in the game and how he got involved in this sport.
Byron McCormack, Kingston, Jamaica. Got involved with youth soccer in around 1990, 91. Of course, when you start having children, you all of a sudden become a parent that has to get your kids involved in sports. And as a soccer guy, that was a natural for me to get my son involved in soccer. So played recreational soccer, met a few guys, played at Flemington for a while, just pick up. Played a little bit in the Contrast League. And
who did you play in the Contrast League for?
And a team called Paragons that we started. It was the guys who normally meet almost every evening, and we played pickup, and then decided that we'd put a team together and enter the Contrast League. So we did, and we were doing okay, and then the league got defunct. So that was it for that.
Okay, join the crowd of the defunkies. Okay, and from that, where you went from there?
Well, I played a lot of the indoor circuit. As you play, you hear about a scrimmage here, a scrimmage there, and so you get to meet a lot of people. And so I met a few soccer guys, and from there got involved in the indoor circuit, played a lot of indoor soccer. Now, Agent Court Soccer Club, they had a recreational men's league that they ran every winter at Cedarbrae Collegiate. And that's where I got involved with Agent Court. I played in that league and met a few people. And some of the guys said, why don't you bring your son over to Agent Court? So I did, and that's where it started.
So you got involved, so your son ended up being your priority. Is that safe to say?
I mean, I got him involved. I continued to play, of course, never stopped. And so I registered him. He was around, maybe 10 years old at the time. And registered him in the Agent Court House League program. And I showed up, kickoff day, and was getting ready to watch and observe and enjoy some of that youthful soccer thing. And the coordinator at the time, he came over to me and said, do you play this game? I said, yeah, I play. He said, okay, then you're the coach of this team. I said, what? So he handed me a clipboard.
No application, no nothing.
That's it, man. Well, that was filled out later on. Okay. But I was actually assigned to coach the team the day I showed up with my son for the first game. I actually did a little bit of coaching in Malvern earlier on. Some coaching in Malvern when my son Sean was about 8 years old. I think I coached there for one season, one house league outdoor season. And so it wasn't really strange to me, but it was surprising at the time because that was the last thing on my mind, that I was going to be going here to coach. But it worked out, I took the team on, and we had fun. It was great. And
what age group was that? What age group?
I think they were 10-year-olds.
Okay.
I guess, I don't know what they call that. Pee-wees or something.
Yeah.
There, we did pretty good in the season. I actually ran into my old buddy Mikey Lim there, and his son was playing at the same time in the same league, so we were kind of rivals. He was playing on an opposite team, and we kind of blended, and you know, a little bit of rivalry, and it was fun. It was a fun season. At the end of the season, we did extremely well. We ended up winning the entire thing, and Bobby de Guzman was the rep director at the time, and he approached me.
You're calling household names now.
Yeah, Bobby approached me and said, "No, no, you're a big time coach. How would you like to take on a rep team?" You know, I said, "Really?" I said, "Sure." So that's where it started. And actually, I got together with Mikey Lim, and we both took on the team. That was the 81 team, his son, my son, and a bunch of other kids that actually played in the program. And that's where it all launched.
Okay, now that's your coaching career. But ladies and gentlemen, this guy is the president of North Scarborough Youth Club here. And that's the reason why we went after him. It's one of the clubs that our Caribbean youth players seem to gravitate to. You have some household names that, before we go into the club and what's happening in the club right now, you had some household names of players that passed through your club. Were you president when they were there? Did the Guzman brothers, were they there, or did you coach them? How did that work? Because it should be in your archives and in your files and in your all over your clubhouse.
Yeah, when I got there, yeah, you know, actually, Julian was same age as my son, and actually, they both went to the same. They went to the same school, same primary school. I didn't know that at the time, and so the team I was asked to coach was a second team to their age group, which was the 81 team. Now, their team was the creme de la creme of the club. You know, I mean, talk about talent, they were extremely talented. And so I took the task of creating this new 81 team. I remember showing up, I showed up at the first tryout, and Bob sent me like 30 something kids. Chaotic, trying to manage and identify, you know. So the process was a bit tedious at first, but you know, I had some help. Mikey was there. There was another guy whose son was going to be a part of the squad as well. He also played in the house league when we were coaching. And so we kind of worked together, and we finally got a final 18. And it started there, right? At the time, I was just a coach, you know, a rookie coach, you know, just started. The club at the time, Agincourt, was very successful as a club. I mean, they were in top 3 in almost every league.
So hold on. You're still talking about Agincourt, or we into North Scarborough now? The 81s.
Well,
is that Agincourt or North Scarborough?
When I started, it was Agincourt. And then I think maybe 2 or 3 years later, maybe 2 years later, just trying to remember what year it was, there was a merger between St. Andrew's Soccer Club and Agincourt. And that was how North Scarborough came to be. So we became North Scarborough probably 95, 96, somewhere around there.
So let me get this clear.
Yeah.
When did the Guzmans, Julian and these guys elevated their game and their profile, was it Agincourt or North Scarborough?
You mean when they started out?
Well, when they started to hit, where they were being noticed by the scouting, and because, for instance, Jonathan, I think Jonathan left at a young age, right? Did he leave from North Scarborough or Agincourt?
Oh yeah, I mean, like I said, when I got there, I mean, these kids were about 10 years old, right?
Right.
And at the time it was Agincourt, and it evolved into North Scarborough. And
so for all intents and purposes, you might as well call it North Scarborough. It don't make sense unpeeling that anymore, right?
No, well, yeah, I'm just trying to give you a little background as to how North Scarborough.
Okay. Got it.
Right. And, but, you know, I mean, back then the talent was just, you know, out of this world. I mean, every one of the local clubs especially at that particular age, the 81 and the 81 boys, I mean, there were just talent everywhere. And
So was North Scarborough, that talent pool that you're talking about there, was that running in parallel with Malvern too? Because Malvern seemed to have a pool of guys
yes,
that was running parallel to that talent pool with Dwayne and
absolutely, yeah. I mean, Malvern was doing well, you know, Agincourt, North Scarborough,
Wexford.
Wexford, you know, all the clubs were flourishing then. And you know, back then the competition was stiff. I mean, there was no easy games in that division. And so you can only imagine, you know, how intense and how much fun it was just watching those teams compete.
And ladies and gentlemen, we're talking about youth clubs here. We're in the youth circuit right now. It's all youth we're talking about here.
I got involved with youth soccer, and I've, you know, been involved to this point. And so the history of my involvement started there. And I watched all these kids develop. I watched Johnny and Julian develop into the stars, really. And the thing about
any extra, you know, when you're getting these sort of marquee youth players, the exposure, the attention, was it a distraction or it worked well for the club?
I mean, like we had like 20, 25 teams, right? And
See
sometimes,
that?
I mean, we sometimes had two teams in one division. There was actually in the 81 division we had like three teams, you know, and so it was flourishing. Yeah, like I say, you know, we were right there, and the competition around was just as good, and so there was a lot of rivalry, a lot of stiff competition. It was fun, you know, watching all that great soccer, you know, and especially coming from youngsters like that. But as time went on, you know.
So how you got to the president? How much more coaching you did before you reached that presidency? You were coaching when all that was going on, all that attention the club was getting.
I coached the 81. They went right from U11 right through to U19.
And you never had your mind on where you are now as being the president?
No, not really. I was just enjoying coaching and, you know, bonding with the youngsters and, you know, mentoring and all that kind of good stuff. And it was fun. And it got to a point where I'm trying to remember how exactly I got involved.
So, like, it seemed like everything happened like how the guy gave you the first coaching job.
Well, eventually, I think I was recruited to join the executive. I ended up joining the executive. And from there, you know, things kind of evolved. And at some point, I ended up being the president.
What executive position you held before you were president?
Position was secretary.
Okay, so the handle on the thing, that's not a bad jump. That, because the secretary does have probably more work.
Well, I mean, you know, I was contributed, you know, and I kind of learned, you know, how the operation went, and learned a lot actually about the operation of the club and some of the bureaucracy that involved.
Who would you accredit for some of the knowledge that you get now into the youth circuit and, you know, the secretarial job you did and then into the presidency? Anybody around that you kind of pattern that type of leadership for managerial skill?
I just listened, you know, I mean, once I got to the executive level, I just listened and learned just from the things that were happening around me. I mean, the president at the time, you know, he had a good system, and, you know, we kind of adopted the same principles. You know, I've kind of kept it a grassroots club. You know, clubs have now evolved into academies and all that stuff. I've kind of kept the old grassroots spirit where we focus on youth development and providing opportunities for kids to realize their God-given talents, you know, and and at the same time trying to make it fun for them. But as you know, this is not all about soccer, right? It's about life skills. It's about, supporting our youngsters in the community and making sure that they stay on the right track. So there were guys who were really committed to that. And back then we were all volunteers. We did it because we loved it, and we were committed, and we saw the fruits of our labor. As kids that I coached back then, I still keep in touch with.
You have that type of support, because we know sometimes things drop off. Are you still having the type of support that you gave? You enjoying now too with people around you?
Been there, as you know, Sonia, his wife, she started off when she became president.
Who?
Sonia.
Sonia was president at one time?
Sonia was president. What happened was everybody kind of matured. The 81 boys, they graduated from youth soccer at some point. And so, the club changed, people moved on, and so on and so forth. And so Sonia was already on the executive before I joined it. And she eventually became the president. And
yeah, Sonia was good, man.
Yeah, and
by the time I was around you guys there, she was busy, man.
I mean, she did it extremely good. I was impressed. It was just one of the reasons why I got more deeply involved, just to support and to make sure that the club stayed viable, because it was a struggle after a while. Because as I said, there was kind of a mass exodus. The core people that were there kind of moved on. Their kids moved on, and so they moved on. But we still continue to maintain the old North Scarborough spirit, and we had good help. Sonia was there, Colleen was there, Dookie came on board. Dookie came on board as a coach initially, and then got involved on the executive level. Sonia took a step back, and so we kind of ran with it, and we had a lot of help coming in. People come in, and the ones who are really committed will stay, and some people are not able to stay or are not able to put in as much time as you would like. But
so how many teams you have now in the club, and then the rep side of the program?
Well, as for the last year, we haven't done a thing because of the COVID, right?
No, but prior to that?
Prior to that, we had about 10 teams.
Okay.
No, we had a couple of teams graduate. One team graduated, as a matter of fact, and we had one team that we lost. So
how do you lose a team to another club?
Well, just teams fall apart.
Okay.
Maybe lack of players, or whatever it is. It happens.
But a situation like that, does it come to you when they're struggling and somebody can help, like pulling players from another or from the house league? Because I know normally the house league is the farm program, right? So when a team starting to splinter a little bit, you bring in some house league player, or is it still the elite, everybody looking for the best team?
I tell you, a few years ago, we decided that, as you say, everybody's looking for the top 20 or 30% of good players. And our focus kind of changed, and we saying, well, if a kid wants to play soccer, whether he has played before or whether he has any experience at all in terms of playing soccer, we were willing to train him. And that's where we started our development program. We started our development program, and we said, if you want to learn to play soccer, no matter what your level is, we will teach you. And so we set up a development program, and what we did was we identified the talent and we placed them where they belong. Kids that came in that were raw and needed a lot of work, we would go the extra mile to get them developed. And so that's basically what we do. We feel like we're trying to promote the sport. right? And we also want to give kids an opportunity to play the sport if that's what they want to do. And I mean, if their interest in soccer is there, then our job is to provide the opportunity for them to play.
So, well, going back to the question now, seeing that you have that in place and the team folded, was that avenue exhausted in terms of, that's what I'm saying, the house league is still the one that you have house league and a development program running in parallel, or the house league is the development program?
Well, we kind of restructure. We call it a development league. And what we do is all our house league players, is a part of our development program. So what we do is we have the games, and then on the weekends we have development. And the development program is run by rep coaches. So we bring each division in a time slot, and we do development, strictly a learning environment, foundation skills, no games. We do sometimes do fun games at the end, or just to keep it.
Yeah.
But the focus was on player development, foundation skills, basic fast footwork, shooting, passing, dribbling, changing direction, stuff like that. And most of the teams that we have right now came out of that program.
That's what I wanted to hear. That's it. So because I'm now going to ask you how is that program working for you? So you just answered the question.
That's proven to be very successful. And so we continue to do it. I mean, we got interrupted for a year by this COVID thing, but we're hoping that we can get back to that. But player development is the key to building an organization. I think you have to start at a young age, because when I first started in the youth club.
Well, let me just educate the people. The OPDL, that's still in play, correct?
Yeah.
And is there any modification? Because I remember when it was coming out and they were launching it in Niagara. I went there when they were launching it.
With a new model, the Soccer for Life, LTPD, long-term player development.
Yes.
And so we have actually modeled our program off the LTPD, because we thought.
And what's the basic of the LTPD? Because I remember they even did an ad with the LTPD.
It's the same thing. I mean, individual player development. It's focusing on player development. They have a model for that, and the house league is no longer who comes first, win a trophy. I mean, we don't structure it that way anymore. We, as I said, we do games. We don't keep standings. We focus a lot on the development side of it. The games are where the players have a chance to put in place some of the stuff they're learning. And we find that the parents, they're really attracted to the development side of it.
Okay.
And we do that in the summer and in the winter. Now, we don't run a house league program in the wintertime. It's strictly development. And we, sometimes we do fun games to kind of break the monotony, and then we get back to the learning environment. So that's basically what Ontario Soccer wants.
And the parents are now in sync with it, seeing that it's been implemented a while now. Everybody is knowledgeable.
In our program, yes. Yeah, I mean, I can't speak for the other.
And is that's from what, 13 and under?
Well, right now we focus on in our house league program, we started 4 years old. So we focus from 4 to 12.
12, right. Okay.
That's our focus, because those are development years. And so our house league, or our development program, or development league, I should call it, goes from 4 to 12 years old. That's where we cut it off. So we're focusing on development.
No, that's fine, because you say it seemed to be working for you besides the COVID. what about that progression now? How inspiring, how motivated are your players at that lower age, looking ahead in the club? What type of success now are you having with the under 14s, under 16s, under 18? Are you having successes, or how is that working for you?
I mean, it's working okay. Our under 16s are doing well. You know, they just got promoted a couple years ago to the regional division. As you know, they changed the pyramid, so there's no more OISL. So it is just multi-jurisdictional and regional. Of course, when under 13 years old, you're playing in your district. It's strictly a development league. So the way
So you said there's no more OISL?
no.
So what took its place?
When the OPDL came into play, OISL was gradually phased out. So the regional division would be the highest level of youth soccer, and that's still in place today. I understand there will be changes next year. So, but the OPDL is not considered a part of the pyramid. OPDL is the Ontario Development League. And the thing, I like the concept, but I'm not sure about the implementation. I don't think it's accessible enough. You know, I mean, there are certain criteria that they've set that makes it difficult for smaller clubs to meet. Even some of the larger clubs. I don't think there's one OPDL club in Scarborough, because the criteria set is really tight.
What's the criteria? What's the criteria?
It's, you got to have a field
of your own.
Yeah, you got to have an indoor facility. You got to have a technical director. The team that plays in OPDL must have a B licensed coach. You got to have, if you're entering OPDL, you got to enter a boys and a girls team, and a lot of other stuff that creates a financial difficulty for some clubs, which, you know, it kind of prevents some of the real talent from getting into the OPDL.
Yes, that's what I found.
You know, I understand there might be some revamping to that, I don't know, but the problem with the OPDL, as far as I'm concerned, is the accessibility of it, how easy it is to access. It's eliminating some really good players who just—
That's what I'm now going to ask you.
And not to mention the cost of playing is roughly $3,000 to $4,000. So if you're living in Scarborough and you don't have an OPDL club in Scarborough, you might have to travel out of district, maybe to York or Durham, or the closest district that has an OPDL club. So
why is that? That doesn't make sense for a sport like soccer.
Well, look, you know, I mean, like I said, the concept—
I mean, it's okay to have that structure, but remember, all that development is to find talent. You have talent that would be poor. Talent has nothing to do with
well, like I said, accessing the league is a problem because of all the restraints that it presents, right? But
yeah, because when I saw that big meeting, I can see clubs like Oakville and these clubs lapping it up. There's not a problem for them to reach that. They have the technical director, they have the B license guy, they probably have 2 B license guys, you know. So I mean, going for your B license is not even a given, depending on the club you come from. And don't get me started, but you know, I know the whole deal. So I just, you know, that's why I asked you how it works from the house league to the thing, because you might have somebody who really loves the game, a player in your house league, and you can see the progress. And then when they reach there, your club is not in OPDL. And then, so on other words, you're going to be like a recruiting ground for clubs in the OPDL then, because that's why I'm hearing in Malvern.
I mean, yeah, I mean, like I said, I mean, we're focusing on developing the talent. and nobody wants to hold a player back. So if you're not able to provide, a higher level of play for a player who deserves to be playing at a higher level, then, you have to let the player go, right? I mean, in the best interest of his development, okay?
Yeah.
So, I mean, look, I don't have a problem with that, but the problem is, so you let the player go, the cost is going to be a hell of a lot more. Traveling, and all the things that come with, having to go outside of your district to play.
So is it safe to say, even if we move now, that person who seemed to have the potential want to make that jump from you to get into that pool to be looked at, and with all the challenges they have there, besides the finance, let's say the parents could come up with the finance and stuff, but the adaptation, the travel, and everything you said, the different coaching, if they're not ready now, do you have any experience with players coming back to you, or just falling by the wayside as being frustrated, dejected? Because you have two different scenarios there. They can come back to the club and say, I want to come back. But I would think that's probably rare.
I mean, we have not that experience. So, I can't.
Where somebody come back?
No, we have not experience of having to let a player go that wanted to play in the OPDL.
Is that good at North Scarborough?
No, well, what I'm saying is, I mean, we have talented players that could be playing in OPDL, but they choose to stay and develop. And I mean, there's so many different avenues now, with the new CPL, with the.
What about scholarships? It seems like you just mentioned avenues and you got me clicking.
Yeah. Scholarships, again, is another route. And some players want to go that route. Some players want to go, down into the US and, get into the NCAA, which is good because that league is like heavily scouted, right? So if you have ambitions to become a pro, it's not a bad idea going there. And if you can get in, but that comes with other stuff. That comes with the politics too, right? So with the new CPL and with the League One, U21, there's a clear pathway now for kids to actually, if they have ambitions to play professional, there's a clear pathway for them to stay right here and do it.
Yeah.
Which is good. The thing about going to, on scholarship is you can get a free education, which is great, right?
Yeah.
And of course, like I said, you get seen by a lot of scouts. So, I mean, kids will decide which direction they want to go. And our job is to help.
Okay. How many house league you got? How many players you think you have? 100, 200? House league?
Yeah, in our house league, we have roughly around 200 kids. The last house league we had a decrease in numbers. We had around 100 or something, and that was like something that clubs experience across the board. Because don't forget, all of a sudden now you have the emergence of academies, and there's quite a few of them in Scarborough. So now you're competing with 10 clubs plus academies. So it's a struggle, trying to maintain your numbers. But, like I said, we continue to do what we do, and we do get our fair share of players. And again, we're a small club, so we're not looking for 700-800 kids.
So what's in it for you? How long you intend to be in this thing? Are you North Scarborough until You think it's time, or how does it look for you at the helm?
Look, it's getting close. I'm on my last term. And I mean, not sure how much longer I'm going to be able to continue at the rate that I'm going. And it certainly wouldn't abandon the program or anything like that. But, we need to get some young people involved and kind of pass the torch. And so that we can keep this thing going, because at some point you have to replenish, right? And
Yes.
It's not easy, especially now when so many things have changed. I mean, it's like first time. There's a lot of red tape and restrictions now that you have to make sure you keep up with, and it's taxing right now. But for me, I haven't been around it for such a long time. I kind of maneuver myself around,
Mm-hmm.
and kind of know, the little shortcuts that you can take and what to do and when to do, right? So, but the whole landscape is changing, and there's more demand now for more structure, right?
Yeah, but are there any people in the wings? Are there any that you have your eyes on that I mean, you don't have to disclose, but I just want to know, are you comfortable that you have people that would pick up the slack?
There is potential there, and mind you, it's a big task. It's very demanding. It's time consuming.
So then that's why you should be kind of sharing it now, so the person, whoever it is,
close, right? So, well, we have a few young people.
and then you're looking at the vision of the club, but then you have all these other things to deal with, Byron.
Yeah, I mean, we have the loyals that are there, supporting. Like I say, I have a lot of young guys coming back that has passed through the club and are back and very ambitious, right? So,
Good.
I mean, from that perspective, it's good. I mean, like I said, we the old guards, we're not gonna just disappear, right? So, we'll see. We'll see.
Okay.
The future looks good in the sense of we have these people coming back and wanting to be a part of what we're doing and can relate to.
That's a good thing. The alumni program always is the program.
Yeah, I mean, it's great to see guys who pass through the program returning and willingly want to give back.
Yeah.
And not just being forced to come back, but actually back on their own and really contributing to, especially in our development program.
Let's go a little on the local stuff now.
The only league I played in was the Contrast League. And
Never.
I played in the Mellow Strikers.
There you go.
35. Well, you and I played together in that.
Yes. There you go. I clean forgot that,
I remember the day you said, you know what, how about it?
Yeah. You must remember that. Yeah. I don't mess when it comes to certain things, when you're giving your time and you ain't seeing it a certain way. I don't like being a disturber.
Look,
Yeah.
everybody has their standards and what makes them tick.
Yeah, and you have to acknowledge that, and if you can't, then you know what to do.
Don't forget, you and I did a little thing in the.
That's right. Let's get to that. Caribbean Stars, we did affiliate with North Scarborough. You're gonna get me in trouble now.
Oh well, I mean,
and we did well. We did well.
Yeah, because the guys I had are the original guys from my 1981 team.
But wait, hold on. I need to chastise you now.
Yeah.
You just said that I asked you about the IRE tournament. And with that affiliation that year, North Scarborough did win the IRE tournament.
Is that right?
Yes.
Oh, yes, you're right.
There you go.
there though. I wasn't there. I was away.
Yeah, no, we did win the IRE tournament.
Didn't attend, but you took the boys.
Yeah,
Yes, I remember that now.
yeah, we won the IRE tournament.
But you mentioned it. Yeah, you're right. I think that was the only time
Yeah.
we participated.
And Byron, for the people out there, they always want to feel that, my winning always come with the talent and stuff. But I mean, when I came to the Scarborough with your young guys, all I did was bring in some older guys like Paul Kumo, because Benny was an exceptional player. You had a couple of guys who were good young guys. Your son, so all they needed, I brought in Carlos, James, and if we had James' brother, we were missing some pieces for that final. We lost in the final in the MJ. We played the cup final in the MJ that same year.
Right too. Yeah, I see. You remember all that.
But you just treat me on the affiliation.
Well, yeah, we came together for a couple of seasons.
Yeah, no one. It was one season.
Only one
season. Well, we did a lot of damage in that season, though.
But no, I mean, that was a good time.
And I see you enjoying the remnants of it, because they say Paulo Como came in. One of my guys came in.
Yeah, Paul came into North Scarborough. I had this. What was it? At the time, there were 99 born. So I think he came in when they were around maybe 12, maybe. And I keep bugging him, and eventually he just showed up, and he took over the 99 team, and actually did extremely well with them. He guided them straight through. They got promoted to the provincial level. They actually won the Ontario Indoor Cup. And I think 3 or 4 of his boys actually got scholarships. So
that's good.
And we did do some work after that. Eventually he moved on. And we still keep in touch.
Byron, you're getting good results. Again, because that Paul thing isn't that long ago, is it?
No, that was, I think they graduated about 2 years ago, 2, 3 maybe. The years go by so fast. I can't.
And that was the open, right? That was men's. Or no? What age group was that?
1999 boys.
So it'll be what, under 19, under 18?
So they would be what?
2 years ago.
No, it's more like 3, 4 years ago, because it goes to 18 now. The youth league goes up to 18.
Yeah. So you think they were under 18s?
They went up to under 18, yeah.
And that's when they accomplished that winning the indoor.
Yeah, they won the indoor cup.
So how was he? If you have to characterize his leadership skill and his coaching,
he got his message across. He was very good with the boys, very good, good communicator. Paul, being an excellent player himself, commanded that respect because he could demonstrate well. So, you're going to get that respect when the coach says, well, look, do this, because look, this is how you do it, right?
Yeah, and he doesn't really joke. He takes it really serious. He's really,
I mean, I thought he did an excellent job, managing that team and taking them to that level, to the point where some of the boys, I think, still are down south playing. So, that was quite a job he did.
That's a good story.
Yeah.
You told me that. Actually, I looked him up and I saw he was the technical director, and I didn't click until I spoke to you. Although I saw it, it didn't sink in. Byron, at least I know your numbers. You educate me a little bit back. I was a little rusty on the LPD and the OPDL. So that's why I wanted to hear. That was also for my benefit, not just the public, but for my benefit also, because, and that's why we'll always be room for North Scarborough.
Well, for you, I think you're doing an excellent job. You're a true ambassador of the sport, and all the work that you're doing is also helping to spread the word. And clubs like ours, we have to look to you to keep the spirit up and to keep the interest, especially in our community.
Yeah, North Scarborough have a little touch for North Scarborough with your leadership. I can't promise anything else if the whole sentiment change, but with you, it's almost like a given. And I want to thank you for that type of relationship over the time I've known you.
Like I say, you try to manage it. Try to managing the program. You got to keep your relationships with the people, that have been around the sport and that you feed off, right? And so, that's what we try to do, right?
So what about your facility that you do practices and stuff?
Our indoor facilities, we have the Steam League location.
Okay.
The indoor facility there.
What's the plans? What's the immediate plans as the weather get warm and the COVID vaccine rolling out, and what does it look like in the next month, 2 months, 3 months? You think anything could be happening, or you have to forego the season?
Well, we're kind of envisioning that we might be able to get back on the field around July.
Okay.
So that's our target date. We're planning to resume more programs. The leagues are open, that things will get going before that. But as far as our house program, we're kind of shooting for that time, maybe first week in July. Deal with the vaccination situation, and hopefully the government allows us to get back to some form of normality. We might be able to run, we might actually, if we can't run actual games, we might just focus on our development program and move forward from there.
Okay. Take care, and thanks for giving me the time and the information.
You're planning to resume more programs. The leagues are open, that things will get going before that. But as far as our house program, we're kind of shooting for that time, maybe first week in July. Deal with the vaccination situation, and hopefully the government allows us to get back to some form of normality. We might be able to run, we might actually, if we can't run actual games, we might just focus on our development program and move forward from there.
Okay.
Welcome, and keep up the work.
All right. Thanks. All right.
Take care.